Brad, product specialist here at Kinze, and today we're going to talk about orifice selection, flow meter uniqueness with our new 5000 series liquid fertilizer system. The benefit of our system, of course, is we support a large rate range, anywhere from 2 to 25 gallons an acre at anywhere from speeds of 3 to 12 miles an hour. With that capability, there's really kind of some unique features you should be aware of depending on the fertilizer rate that you are applying with your planter and the speed range you'll be utilizing with your planter. As we look into the operator's manual, for reference, there are several rate charts to reference to know how many gallons per minute our fertilizer system will be applying, which of course in turn factors into our gallons per acre that we're applying as well. As you can see in this first rate chart, there's a formula built into your operator's manual that provides you how to calculate your gallons per minute. We'd recommend going through this formula both for your higher speed or the highest speed you're going to travel, the lowest speed you're going to travel, to really pick an orifice that will cover that rate range. Of course, with our fertilizer system having a pressure and flow compensated pump, we really can provide a large rate range per single orifice. Once you go through your calibration and you choose your, again, high speed and low speed with your gallons per acre based on your rate chart or the formula that's in the owner's manual, we then can go over to the next page and you can see on the rate chart there's different colors from green, blue to red, and you can see that there's a jet and reference the orifice size and then a no jet and reference orifice size. All of these functions and pieces, the orifice, the strainer, are all based and built into the new flow switch that's built onto the planter itself. So for example, if we had to take out or our dotted line on the owner's manual, you can see once we get to a 65 thousandths orifice, we have to take out the jet where it says a no jet orifice. And you can also see that the mesh strainer inside is different as well. So depending on where you land on this rate chart, we might have to remove or change components that are factory installed depending on your rate range. So let's kind of walk to the planter and we'll look at the flow switch itself. So as we go to the front, this of course is our new 5670. The flow switches are the same no matter the model that you're working on. And I'm going to take it off of the planter just to kind of break it down in pieces. You don't have to take it off the machine to do the orifice or fertilizer strainer change. So kind of the nice part though, they're quick to take off. You have the disconnect for your shutoff, and of course you have your rotational style connector for your flow sensor. So I'm just going to take that off. We take our fertilizer hose off, and then on the back there is a U-clip that we're simply going to pull up, and then the whole flow switch assembly comes off the planter. So again, just doing this just to give you a better breakdown and better view of what's in the flow switch itself. So if we kind of look at the breakdown of the flow switch, of course, this is where our fertilizer is going to come out. This is our flow sensor. This is our shutoff valve. Okay. So on this side, we have a quarter turn connector. We come out. This is where the orifice lives in the flow switch. A flat face orifice lives in there, and of course your orifice numbers that are stamped in there for the size always face out towards the direction of the flow. Okay. Inside of this connector we have our strainer, of course, to help keep any debris from plugging up our orifice. The standard one that comes in it is the 100 mesh green style orifice size. If you look at the rate chart in the owner's manual, you'll notice the green mesh strainer is used for those 4 orifices. The standard orifice that comes with it is normally a 37 thousandths orifice as part of the factory package. Handles around that 5 to 7 gallons per acre based on, travel speed and of course row spacing as well. Once we get higher than that, again, according to our chart, in our example, we're going to go up to or utilize a 65 thousandths orifice. So we need to change this mesh filter to, again, a 50 mesh strainer instead. So we would have to replace these in our case for this example of using a 65 thousandths orifice. So that's where the mesh filter lives. Again, slides into the end where your quarter turn quick connector is going out to your liquid fertilizer tube. Okay. So I'll leave that strainer out. The other item we've talked about, so we talked about strainer differences, again, broken down by color on your operator rate chart. The other thing to change, we've talked about it a couple times, is that jet orifice. The jet orifice lives inside the flow switch. So if I set it down to kind of break it down in pieces, we're going to take this top cover off for our flow switch or our paddle wheel. So we're going to rotate this guy, take it off. Of course, inside is our yellow paddle wheel, which of course is telling us, does each row have flow? We're going to take that guy out. We're going to take off our fertilizer shutoff. Okay. Inside our fertilizer flow switch, inside here where it's coming from our fertilizer shutoff valve, inside here is a red colored jet orifice. The function of the jet orifice in our flow switch is utilized especially when we have low flow rates, low travel speeds, and of course low applied fertilizer rates. That jet orifice in there basically speeds up the fertilizer flow to give you a consistent and accurate reading when we're trying to read flow and ensure that fertilizer is flowing. If you have to take it out, so our example, we're using 65,000 orifices that say no jet. We simply disassemble it, take a Phillips screwdriver. You can come in from the back side. So where our mesh strainer was, we have our mesh strainer out. Take your Phillips screwdriver, press in, and push out your jet orifice. So it's a little red orifice. It's not very big. Okay, and we take it out because we don't need it according to our 65,000ths rate use for our orifice. When it goes back in, let's say we're on this planter, for example, we were done planting corn, we're now going to beans and it's a really low rate. We have to reinstall the orifice. We're going to, of course, just go in the opposite direction. The orifice itself is keyed, so it can only go in one way. You simply can, again, take your small Phillips #1 screwdriver. It has a Phillips head on the end. You just rotate it down, push it in until it stops, and you should be able to see it inside the cavity of our flow sensor. Okay? So take it out, put it in either direction. Once you're done with that, you then can, of course, put your fertilizer shutoff valve back together. Put our shutoff together. We're going to put our fertilizer paddle wheel back in. Again, it only goes together one way. We put our top flow sensor on the top. Again, only goes together one way. Lock tab, unlock tab to let you know it's fully seated. Put your, again, correct strainer in. We're just going to use the same one we took out for this, but put your strainer back in. Put your quarter turn back together. And now we can go reinstall it back on the planter. Okay? So, big thing, before you go to the field, know what fertilizer rate you're going to do. Reference your operator's manual, rate charts, and calculation chart built into the manual to know what orifice we need to use to support your planting rate at your planting speeds, again, both high and low, and see if we have to make some adjustments, whether it's on our mesh strainer size, whether it's on our orifice size, and of course, if we need to take out the jet or put the jet in. So do that ahead of time. Make sure you have components on hand. That way you're ready to go for planting in the spring.